YouTube, what is up? James MTG Biggie here, and I know it's been a little while since all my deck techs and stuff. I haven't put a new video up. I've been swamped at work. I've been swamped at home. I've been watching baseball to very sad results. I won't talk about it, but I've been away for some time, and hopefully I can make a video today, an update video, and then get back on track with regular uploads and posting and have a regular routine again once I have some content to talk about. I do have some content to talk about. First of all, we'll get to Worlds. Congratulations to William Huey Jensen on winning the whole thing with Teamer Energy. The jury is kind of still partially out on Standard. We know that the old decks are good. So Teamer Energy, Ramunap Red, and now a new blue-black control deck were kind of the whole meta at Worlds. I don't think that's very indicative of the meta in Standard overall. And of the decks that I brewed and I put together and I made videos for on this chat, I think I got pretty close. The blue-black control deck from Worlds, it's a solid deck. It's really good. It's very streamlined, and I think it's pretty close to our Esper build, which I think is the best build that we had put together and did a deck tech for the channel. Coming out of seeing how the World Championship tournament came out and ended up playing out, I think I would make a couple adjustments. But not too many. Blue-black's probably a little more streamlined, but having the white on the splash gives us access to Fumigate and Settle the Wreckage. Although I think Fumigate's a little bit better, which I'm going to be shifting to in the main deck, just because Settle the Wreckage is kind of anti-synergy with the Scarab God and Hostage Taker and stuff like that. So we want to have the ability to wipe the board, but also have the ability to utilize the Scarab God's ability. It's a slight oversight. I was very into the idea of Settle the Wreckage just being great, and didn't think of that interaction or lack of interaction. So the changes I would have made would be to trim the Settle the Wreckage. We're going to bring Fumigate into the main deck, and then we're going to probably up the number of Search for Azcanta to at least 2 because the card's ridiculous. And then I'm going to probably trim Hostage Taker and possibly the Noxious Gear Hulk, and just go to 2 Scarab Gods, 3 Torrential Gear Hulks, and Search for Azcanta. Basically, just adjusting the numbers enough, making the Fumigate change, I think will make this deck absolutely playable and good. I think it's a good deck. I've been playing it here and there online. I haven't put it together in paper yet because I don't go and play Standard ever. So, unfortunately, it's hard to get out to play Standard. I have more access to playing Modern at the moment with my days off and whatnot. But Esper, I think, is still a very good deck. So there's that. In the time I've been off, I've still been getting a good amount of subscribers. We're at 249, just under 250. Channel's been going good. You guys really seem to enjoy the deck techs I've made. A lot of people dig this, or at least watched the Blue-Red Spells deck tech, which is cool. I think it's sweet, just not great. Excuse me. But other than that, while I've been away, I got to play a little bit of Magic, and I went and played Modern at my local store. Shout out to E&D Games as usual, and I put back together an old deck that I played for a long time, and that I kind of turned away from for a while in favor of some other decks in Modern. And for those who don't know, I played Merfolk for quite a while in Modern, and that's what we sleeved back up and jumped into Modern with, to some fairly mediocre results. Although I love the deck, and I think it's a good deck. I think I just had some bad beats, and I think that's why I ended up going 2-2. However, the games that I did well in and the matches I did win were good matches, and the matches that I lost were good matches and very close. I had Lethal on the table, game 3, playing against a dude playing Bant Eldrazi. I was able to make 23 Master of Waves tokens and have Lethal in play, and he drops Worship. And my outs to Worship were exactly 0. And he had a Displacer loop going with Drowner of Hope. So he's making every single turn 2 more Eldrazi Scions or whatever. And there's no way that I could possibly win with Worship. So I just let him wait me out, and he eventually ended up playing a Eldrazi Sky Spawner and flying over for the win like 7 turns later. But yeah, that was a tough game 3 to lose because I was literally 1 swing away from Lethal. And yeah, sometimes games go like that. It's magic. Anyway, played some Modern, had a good time. Got to get some games in with an old favorite, Merfolk. And now I found out a local store, which isn't really a local store. It's kind of a juggernaut of the southeast region and of Florida especially. Cool Stuff Inc., which has a gang of stores all over Florida. Cool Stuff Games is running a team constructed tournament, and they are giving away a case in prize. I don't know how it's going to be divided or whatever, but a case of Ixalan, I believe, in prize support to the winning team, the bulk of that, I guess. And I decided to get the guys together again and try to run it back. Unfortunately, my buddy Nick, not going to be able to make it for our team. He was my legacy player the last time that we won, the last team tournament we played in. So I get to shift back to Legacy, which makes me very happy. I love playing Legacy. And then my buddy Sean is going to be playing Standard again. And my buddy Dave is going to be taking over Modern duties. And it's super exciting. I love team tournaments. And the last time we played in one, we got very, very combination of lucky and had a good skilled team that worked well together and played well and had good decks for that tournament, and we did well. We won, and we're gonna try to run it back or do the best that we can, really. Obviously the goal is to win, but more importantly the goal is to have a lot of fun and play Magic next to 2 of my good friends and get a chance to play Legacy competitively, which is awesome. I can't wait. I get to sleeve up my favorite deck, and I have to make some adjustments between now and then with my sideboard especially, and a couple main deck slots that are going to be shifted around. Those who don't know, in Legacy, I own 1 deck, and I play 1 deck, and it's Death and Taxes. So if you're going to be there at Cool Stuff in Tampa, cat's out of the bag. I'm playing Death and Taxes. That said, I have some definite adjustments. So the 75 that is here on screen is not going to be anything like the 75 that I bring. Definitely plan on doing a lot of tuning and a lot of adjusting and putting together the list I think I will have the most success with. I don't know what to expect from the meta in Legacy. The last team event I played Modern. So I'm at a slight disadvantage there, but I have a very versatile deck, and I think that's important. I am hoping that I can fade any bad matchups like Elves. Infect isn't great for Death and Taxes, stuff like that. And play against mid-range decks. I hope more people are on the Leovold decks and Deathrite Shaman decks and playing interactively mid-range decks. If I get that run of things, I think I'm a good pilot for Death and Taxes, and I think I can feed on those matches. Adversely, combo decks, it depends on the deck and the player, honestly, and it's kind of a play-draw sort of thing. I think if I play against Storm, if I'm on the play and have the ability to not die turn 1 and can stick Thalia turn 2, that's the goal. I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to configure my main deck to give me a few extra points in those matchups, a few extra percentage points. It's tough. It is really, really hard to not lose on turn 1 to those decks sometimes. Storm especially. But decks like Charbelcher and stuff like that, I've played those matchups a fair amount and have about 50-50 odds with those matchups. Specifically Charbelcher, if you get the draw of like turn 2 Thalia, they have a real hard time going off. If you do allow them to go off with Storm Count instead of the Charbelcher combo, and they try to empty the Warrens and win, I've come back and won from a position of looking at 12 goblins on my opponent's side of the table. The way to do it is you just try to have 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, make your blocks, and get a Stoneforge Mystic and Umezawa's Jite as soon as possible. And then try to fade some of their tokens with Flicker Wisp and stuff. It's doable. I've been at 2 life and have battled back and won because at a certain point you block as many as you can, you take all the damage you're able to, and then you're playing creatures that matter while they have a bunch of goblin tokens. That's the goal there. The combo win's a little bit harder to fade, but I think I have some good ideas and some good options for sideboarding and whatnot to try to tighten up that match. Charbelcher's a cheap deck, that's why I expect to see it. But hopefully we run the mid-range game and I get to play good matches. More importantly, I like Legacy for the interaction and for the fact that I play a deck that while it does its best to try to lock your opponent out from playing Magic, it also interacts with what they're doing well. And that's how I enjoy playing. Anyway, yeah, team event coming up. It's in like 6 days. We're running it back, and hopefully we do well. Hopefully we have fun. I look way forward to it. It's the best way to play Magic and absolutely worth taking a day off, especially after the week that I've had. So that is that, guys. I appreciate it. I just thought I would check in, give a quick update, and yeah, that's about it. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I'm going to try to come up with some sort of content, maybe for a deck tech, maybe soon. Maybe shifting our sights over to Modern, perhaps, which I'm probably going to just deck tech out pretty known decks. Merfolk, there's some updates there. The other YouTube channel, the gentleman Nikachu, who plays a ton of Merfolk almost exclusively, made some good updates to the deck, and I would like to pass them on to my audience and put my 2 cents in as a dude that plays that deck a fair amount. And maybe I'll be back with a video with some successful results from the team tournament at Cool Stuff Games in Tampa. Hopefully I see some familiar faces, and have a lot of fun. That's what I'm looking forward to. But thanks so much, guys, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Please like, comment, subscribe, and check out a couple of videos down below, and that way, on that side of the screen, you can click this face of mine, or a cartoony version of this face, and subscribe and get signed up to see all my other videos. Check out some deck techs, some other stuff, and I'll talk to you again very soon.